Yeah, welcome everybody. I'm Pradyumna and I have created this YouTube channel as a part of my curriculum where I'll be reviewing art forms like cinema and literature. So, I'm not a pro. I'm just doing this because this is the only thing that I thought I can do well. And just to be clear, I am not gonna be when I mean reviewing, it's just me talking about the cinema or the book, the experience that I had, and what's my take on it, or what I felt during reading the book or watching the movie. This thing is going to be very subjective. I'm not going to be reviewing the thing. I'm not going to be criticizing it. There's no criticism of any sort here because I don't think that I'm in a position or I will ever be in a position to criticize another person's storytelling. I think it's unfair. So I would, like I have made a list of movies or books that I want to talk about, and I'll be talking about it. I'll be telling what I felt or how some connection that I have with it. It's going to be very random, and I'll have to tell that it's not structured. There's no script as such to it, and also I stammer, so there'll be a lot of things that are just happening, and it's also a very long form content. I think it'll be like 5 to 10 minutes or maybe more of me just talking about it without any breaks. So just bear with it, and so today I'll be talking about a film called Yi Yi. It's a Taiwanese film that came out I think in the year 2000 by a Taiwanese filmmaker called Edward Yang. So Edward Yang unfortunately passed away after that movie, but he's a very well-known filmmaker in Taiwan. He used to be an engineer I think in America, but then he quit it and then he came to Taiwan to make movies. So I'll be talking about Yi today, and also another thing that I forgot to mention earlier is that many of these movies and books I might not have watched them recently. Like for example, Yi, I wanted to watch it now, but then because of a few issues, I couldn't watch it. But I'll be talking about the film from whatever I remember. And maybe that's another reason why I chose this movie, because the movie was so good that I remember it. I've cherished watching the movie. But for me, what makes a good movie? There are 100 answers that you will get. There are many answers and all that. But for me, a good movie is a movie that I remember watching. I remember the day I watched it. I remember what happened to me. I remember the impact that it had on me. And I also, maybe it inspires me in such a way that uh, it kind of changes the way that I was as a person. And Yi was one such movie, and my brother was the one who gave me the recommendation for the movie, and I'm really grateful for him for that. I remember I had watched Yi. I think when I was quite young when I watched it, and I was on leave that day. I think I was either on leave or I went late, so I had to come back. And that day I sat and saw Yi. It was a 3 hour movie, and I just loved it. And yeah, so Yi is not a movie that I can review right now, because I think it's much more than movie. It's life. Yi is representing life. It's representing different phases of life. It's so beautiful how the movie starts with the marriage and ends with the fair death. Like the grandmom dies in the movie, so it starts with the marriage, ends with death. Funeral, yeah, that's the word for it. As I mentioned, it's not scripted, so yeah, starts with the marriage, ends with the funeral. There's birth in the movie, there's death, there's almost everything that a human goes through in different phases of life, and Edward Young has beautifully represented it. And I will just be talking about the characters or a few scenes or the overall impact it has had on me, because you cannot review a movie like this. You have to just sit, watch it, live through the movie, and I think just let that reflect upon you. That's the only thing that you can do. So yeah, this is a beautiful movie. I think one more thing that I want to add is in these Taiwanese movies, the ones that I have watched at that time, like Edward Yang's movies or Hao Shoshan's movie, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce the name. I'm not sure whether it's Hao Shoshan or Shashan Hao, but uh, Taipei, the place where the movie is shot, like for example, Yi was shot in Taipei. That place will play a very huge role in the movie because Taipei as a city saw very fast development. And when a city goes through but development of that sort, it does influence people a lot. The way they think, the way their lives are, the architecture of the place, everything, and it's all represented in the movie very beautifully. And this is something that you can see in Edward Young's work a lot. So he is a movie about a family. It's a family of four. Which is a husband, wife, daughter, son, and there's a grandmother, which is the wife's mother. And there are various other characters that come into the movie that just makes it so fulfilling. And as I said earlier, it's life. So all these characters, these situations coming together make it, like beautiful. It just shows life so well. So there's NJ, who's the father. NJ kind of represents this one. I think he represents many people in India. He works in the corporate. I think he's a founder. His company is not doing that well right now, and he kind of. I think this is what I feel. I feel that he is not able to find meaning in his life. He's kind of searching for it. He's kind of lost in it, and a few things about him that I'll talk later. And then there's the wife who's also very unhappy with the job. Her mom falls down from the terrace and she's sick. The grandmother, and she wants to go. I think she goes to a shrink. And then there's the daughter called Tintin. I think Tintin is this beautiful teenager who's very quiet, observant, and goes through many things that most of us go through when we were in teenage. Doubt, love, falls in love with somebody in the movie, yes, and she's also vulnerable. She's yeah, the many things that we go through teenage, and I think teenage is something she represents, whereas NJ, the father, represents adulthood. And then there's the cutest character, a character that I'll never forget in my whole life. That's Yang Yang. Yang Yang is this very, I think he's like 7 to 8 year old. He's a kid. And he represents childhood. And I'm talking about, when we're all kids, we're all very curious about things. And Yang Yang is literally the representation of that. He's this quiet kid who's very curious. About things that are going on around him. He's very observant, and there are so many scenes in the movie. Like there's a scene in the movie at the beginning. He's very short. He's a very short little kid, and he gets bullied by, I think, his relatives or a few girls in a function, right? And it's very beautiful how like I still remember that scene where the film starts with a balloon, because it's a celebration, it's someone's wedding, it's the wife's younger brother's wedding. So in his wedding there are balloons, and he sees the balloons, he gets bullied. And when people are having food, there's one guy who's smoking a cigar or something, and the balloon bursts. And then Yang Yang uses that to go and scare the girls that bullied him. It's a weird example. I don't know why I said that, but it's beautiful. The kind of questions he asks in the movie kind of represents the curiosity that he has. Like he asks his dad that, correct me, I mean, I might not be precise with the dialogues, but he says something like, I don't know what you're seeing and you don't know what I am seeing. So how do I know what you are seeing? It's kind of a very weird question to hear from a kid, but he's a very curious kid, and he understands various things in the movie. There's a beautiful scene in the movie. I think his dad tells him, he asks his dad a question like, I can see only what's in front, but I can't see what's behind. So does that mean that I know only half of the truth? And his dad tells him that that's the reason why we have a camera. So he goes around taking photos of everything that he sees. He goes around taking photos of people from behind, and he gives it to them, saying, "See, I took a photo of you from behind, and then behind as in the head, and then he gives it to them." So he's a yeah, it's a beautiful movie. But there are a few scenes in the movie. There's, I think, as I said, Tintin uh, kind of falls in love with this guy. Not love, but yeah. So they go out on a date, and there's this very beautiful thing that he says in the movie, which is something that I kind of relate to. Is that when you watch cinema, it's like you're living more than one life. Because, for example, now I don't know what it feels like to murder somebody, but when you watch film, you know what it feels to murder somebody, or you know what it feels to shoot somebody, or maybe you know what it feels. I don't know, many things that you haven't lived in your life, you live it through cinema. So there's this beautiful scene in the movie where NJ NJ meets his ex-lover, the person he loved before he got married to this lady, and then somehow he had to go to Japan, and she also ends up in Japan, and they meet. So this is a beautiful movie, it's a beautiful scene where NJ and his ex-lover are in Japan and they're walking, and NJ's daughter is walking with his sorry, her boyfriend, and NJ is narrating, and like NJ is telling his ex-lover about how, when they were young, how they used to walk, or the kind of things that they used to do, and NJ's daughter is doing the exact same things, which shows the cycle of life, right? Like what NJ did, his daughter is also kind of doing the same thing, which again shows the beauty of the film. It's a very beautiful scene that made me really happy, and I still remember it. I haven't watched E for a very long time, but still, it's such a beautiful scene. Just makes me very happy. And there's also this one Japanese dude. So they, as I told, NJ's company is not making profit, so they had to collaborate, I think, with some Japanese company. And this guy had come to Taiwan to meet him. And that Japanese dude, it's like he comes in the movie. He's like a symbol, not symbol, but he just makes you relax. He's just like breathing, just like take your time, do your stuff. He's that sort of a character that I think in my life also, if I meet a character like the Japanese dude, for me, I'll remember him forever. So there's so much to talk about the film. I'm just falling out of words now. But yeah, it's a beautiful movie, and yeah, I mean, let's just think what else I can talk about it, because this will go on YouTube, and I don't want people to think that I'm some dumb. No, no, it's fine. Let them think I'm dumb. I might be dumb. I don't know. Wait, what am I talking? Yeah. So yeah, it's a beautiful movie, man. And the thing is, there's so many things happening in the movie. It's very tough. Like there's so many characters in the movie, right? Now there's one character which is the wife's younger brother. It's his wedding at the starting of the movie, so he's marrying the girl because he got her pregnant, wherein he had a girl that he actually loved, who was about to marry, but that didn't happen. And he's this guy who's just like a failure in life, he's going through losses, and his wife, who he marries because he got her pregnant and gives birth to a baby. And then there are MJ's friends in the movie, the guy with whom I think he was there during school. They start a company together. There's NJ's ex-lover also comes. There's the Japanese dude. There's the guy that Tintin falls in love with. And there's a girl who's Tintin's neighbor, who used to date that guy. And then the neighbor's mom is also kind of a weird character. There's so many characters in the movie, and I think with the help of all those characters, what Edward Young has been successful to do is he's been able to structure the story in such a way that all these people are having their own input in the story, and it's just making it so beautiful. Like for example, you watch a thriller movie, it's just about, the thriller movie, right? There's the character and what happened and what he's gonna do. But in this movie, it's not like that. It's like the whole world is being captured in that movie, and all of those people and all of those instances have an impact on the storytelling, and that's what makes Yi so beautiful. It's just the way Edward Young has been able to take a family and the people around them, different type of people, and his ability to write and represent this story is just so beautiful. And I can't really, as I said earlier, it's very tough to explain this movie, but I have tried to explain it. I don't think I have succeeded in it, but yeah, all I would do is I would just recommend people to go and watch this movie, because I think that it had an impact on me. And it's also, in cities, when you live in such big cities with so many people, you're working, life tends to become a little, not weird, but there's just, I don't know, it gets, yeah, it gets a little weird. I think weird is, I don't think whether is the right word for it, but he is, beautifully explained that also. And again, I have to talk about a scene about Yang Yang. So this is where Yang Yang, because of his curiosity, he's taking photos and all that, and he has a balloon, the balloon part. So there's a scene where people think that he has got a condom in the class in his pocket, but actually it's a balloon. And there's one teacher that accuses him of having a condom or something, but then it turns out to be a balloon. There's also a scene where Edward, no, sorry, Yang Yang, I think, wants to take revenge from the teacher, because as I told about the photos, the teacher finds that he has photos in his pocket and then makes fun of him in the lab. So this is one girl who's like that teacher's pet, like she's doing everything for the teacher. And there's a beautiful scene in the movie where it's a scene where Yang Yang, I think through his curiosity, finds out what attraction is for the first time. So he and his friends make a plan that they will fill the balloon with water and throw it, I think, on the girl, but it falls on the teacher. I'm not sure. But what does happen? It falls on the teacher, and they run from there and they go to the a room. I think it's like an auditorium where they're showing something, and Yang Yang goes and sits there, and the girl comes, and then there's a scene that happens, and in the background the auditorium is showing a video that represents what is happening in Yang Yang at that moment. And that is also a very beautiful scene, because in that scene Yang Yang is curious and he finds out what attraction is for the first time. And after that, I think is the scene. There's another beautiful scene with Yang Yang where in the school, the girl that he's attracted to is a swimmer. So she's swimming in the movie. So he sees her swimming, and after that, Yang Yang also tries to swim, but he doesn't know how to swim. So he just falls in the swim and he just comes back somehow. So yeah, all the characters are so beautifully written, and their ability to, and they're all representing phases of life so beautifully. And I'm 100% sure that I have not done justice to this beautiful movie through this review, but I hope that whoever watches this review, and yeah, it's literally 19 minutes now, so it'll be like 20 minutes. I don't think they'll watch the whole thing, but if you do, just go and watch E, man. That's all I can say. Just go watch E. It's such a beautiful movie, and I feel really bad trying to review the movie and just it was a blunder, but still, just go watch the movie. It's a beautiful movie, and my how bad my review is, E is very good. So it's like completely opposite of this review. Just go watch it. It's beautiful. It's not a movie, it's life. That's what I tell everybody, whoever asks me. It's not a movie, it's life. It's beautiful. Just watch it. Just watch it. So yeah, this was one video. I think I'll be coming up with seven, eight, or maybe even 10. I mean, I'll be talking in the same stupid way that I talked in this video about films or books that I have loved or have had an impact on me. So yeah, stay tuned, guys, and yeah, that was it for today. I'll try to come up with another one next week. Thank you for bearing me for so long. Thank you.